Looking for a 2-car garage, but don't know what size to get?
Stick around and we'll break it down for you. Welcome back, Pack. So if it's your first time here with us, or if you've been watching us for a while, my name is Anna. I am the marketing director here at WolfSteel Buildings, and I am here with David. And David is one of the sales leaders for the Dream Team.
Yes, ma'am. So it's actually been a while since we've been on the video.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have you back, and we're going to talk about another pricing video for you guys.
Sure. So welcome back to us. If you're looking for a 2-car garage, but you don't know what the price point is for one, stick around, because in this video, that's what we're going to be breaking down: the cost of the building and the concrete.
And the process.
And a little bit about the process. You're
Just
right.
a little bit.
So stick around. So David, let's get right into it. You and your team sold this client. What was the process like with him, and what is the total cost? Which is what everyone wants to know, yes.
Yeah, for sure. So this one was pretty extensive. It was a pretty particular project, just because, you know, we demolished this concrete, we poured a whole new driveway, and that in itself was a whole permit. Obviously, you know, it's the building, accessories, you know, we helped them out from start to finish. And that was a pretty extensive process.
Yeah, I'm sure. Which we talk a little bit about it in the tour video of just how long everything kind of took him. But the biggest thing that you guys are looking for, the total project cost. Total project cost for this client and this building is $38,404 with 50 cents.
Correct.
I would like to add that that is the final price.
Yeah. So that is the final price, because it does include the process, the concrete, the building, the gutters, all the accessories that go with it, and what's more important is the taxes as well. It does include the price.
So whenever you guys are comparing pricing or anything like that, just make sure that the pricing that our teams do give you is that is the final price. That is everything all up front.
Correct.
So this building is a 25 wide by 30 long by 10 foot tall on the eaves. It is an all vertical tubular metal building. Our client is actually using this as a detached garage, and it looks like also a workshop, because he's going to be doing some things out of there. So when he talked to us when we were out there, he talked to us a little bit about being scared that the size was going to be too small, and then he was like, I don't know if it was going to fit everything that he wanted to be able to do out of that. But once he got it, and you can see that in the tour, he has plenty of space.
Yeah. So actually, what's funny about that is that I actually hand delivered the permits to his house, to him.
I didn't know that.
And so I went out to his site, and when I got there, I saw his backyard. I actually thought the building was going to be too big for his property. But as you guys can see in that video, it doesn't overpower his whole backyard. It looks great on the property. And, you know, it also accommodates his needs. So it's a good 2-car garage. He's able to work inside, walk around his 2 cars that he's going to be parking in the building. So ultimately, it just turned out great. Yeah. Pretty sick.
I hope you guys know where that comes from. And if not, make sure you watch the video for, what is it, 55 by 40?
Yes, the man cave.
The 55 by 40 man cave, so we know exactly where that inside joke comes from, David. So speaking of his 2 cars, he does have 2 cars. He has the truck, which is very visible in the tour video, but his wife also drives a Jeep.
Yes.
So those are pretty, I would say a Jeep is still about a mid-sized car. It's definitely not a small car. But he has a really nice 18 by 8 overhead door in the front of the building. That's honestly the first thing you see as soon as you pull up to his driveway. Door. Yeah. And that is large enough for him to pull in those 2 vehicles. He doesn't have to worry about trying to maneuver one to get him in and out. And then he also does racing. He does do some racing.
He goes hot rods with his dad.
There you go. I saw he had a shirt when we were there visiting and talking to him. He had a shirt on, and we actually asked him about that. And he was like, hey, honestly, he's like, I have my truck here. And in the tour video, he even told us when he was there, he's like, I have all the space to work on these cars. Yeah. He's like, so anything that he wants in and out of that door honestly adds a great aesthetic appeal, but it's also very easy.
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind, though, that his door is a custom size door. You know, normally our biggest size door that we offer, overhead doors, is 16 wide by 8 feet tall. This one was 18 wide by 8 feet tall. So it's a little bit more custom, a little bit more pricey, but ultimately at the end of the day, 5 years down the road, you're not going to remember the price. You're just going to remember you have this nice, big, beautiful door.
Yeah, and that it's super easy for you to access everything in and out, and you don't have to worry too much about it. So, but starting price for that door, you're looking at about $5,300.
Correct. Yes. So the building actually all ties in together very well. He has a 36-inch by 84-inch steel insulated door, which is actually very important because at the end of the day, This building is spray foam, so obviously we're gonna give them insulated windows and insulated steel doors. But one thing I like about the steel door is that it actually walks out to a custom curved sidewalk that goes towards his house.
Very, very
Yeah,
true. You
it's
can
pretty
see
sick.
that in the tour, just how nice it looks.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be doing my job, guys, if I didn't tell you guys to make sure that to watch that video that David is, well, you talked a little bit about it, so
Yeah.
he just mentioned it. Adbil and David recorded a video on the importance of insulated accessories when you're getting spray foam or any type of insulation, not just spray foam. So
Correct.
make sure you guys watch that video. It will be linked up above, but it'll also be in the description down below.
Yeah.
So this client did actually specifically get 3 36 by 36 double pane windows.
Correct.
And they're very strategically placed throughout the building on those 3 sides to make sure to allows a lot of natural light. Yeah, correct.
That's what he wanted at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Cool. So when we first talked to the client, we were talking about what he was going to do in the building. That was my main concern.
It's the biggest thing we want to know.
Yeah, we want to know what you're going to do in the building. So when it was determined that he was going to be doing hot rod work inside his building, we knew he was going to spend a lot of time in the building. So we, of course, went with the 1-inch closed cell spray foam. And nowadays, Texas, we all know when it gets hot, it gets hot. And when it gets cold, for some reason, it gets really cold nowadays. It used to not be like that, but now it is. But for this particular building, the spray foam was $4,500.
This building also did have a gutter system, which kind of directs the water around the building. So the total cost for just the building in itself, with everything that we've previously mentioned, is $27,643.50.
But keep in mind also, we did a lot of extensive concrete work.
Yes.
As I mentioned before, we demolished his existing driveway because it was no longer useful to him, and we did a whole new driveway. We did a custom curb all around the edge, and you can see in the video the whole curb around the edge of the building to help avoid water going into the neighbor's property.
Yeah, because he's at higher elevation, and you can see that he's at a higher elevation than his neighbor.
Correct. Yeah.
So don't want that.
So that whole concrete work was pretty extensive, and we did some pretty custom work. You know, from his building to his house. We did a lot of custom concrete work for sure.
So those are a lot of additional aesthetics things that we did. Like you mentioned, the curb. You also previously mentioned we did a curb sidewalk that kind of leads into his house. So these are all additional things. These things are not going to be added in the price that David is about to give you guys for the concrete. These are things that we kind of have to go out to your site. We need to kind of see what it is, what type of soil, you know, the elevation, things like that you have on your property before we can give you a price for those things. But it's definitely something that we can do.
Correct.
Customize.
Yeah, so for the cost for this particular, just the building itself, the concrete for the building is $10,761.
And that is even. Again, that is a final price. But before we guys go, we gave you guys price for the building. You guys, the concrete, now that David just gave you at $10,761, and then also the total project cost. I do want to also remind you guys, especially with this client, something that we experienced was the very extensive permitting process. This client went through, 6 months? Maybe a little bit more?
It was about 6 months of the process. Well, realistically, 90% from start to finish, 90% of it was permitting.
Yeah.
We didn't know that, obviously we know that there's a building permit and a concrete permit, but when we went into the whole demolish and re-pour of a whole new driveway, that's a whole nother permit in itself. So that's one thing to be mindful for, depending on what you want and the location of the building as well, because this one is in the center of Benbrook, Texas. It will determine your whole process.
So just make sure you keep those kind of things in mind and keep them in your timeline when you're wanting to get a building. Make sure if those are things that are required, make sure you kind of know that's if you're going to be needing a permit, that's something that you might be running into. Some permitting departments really they're like, oh, you want a permit? What do you need it for? Check, check, and you're done. But some of them take a little bit longer. And
I pray for those, by the way.
Our permitting department knows exactly which ones it is. So just make sure that you know that that's something that can happen, and then we do help you guys. That's part of the process. That's something that's the beauty of WolfSteel. The WolfSteel difference is that we do help you guys with permits. We have a whole department, and we have teammates that help you guys with that.
Shout out to April.
Yeah, shout out to April. She helps you guys with those things, and those are things that you guys also help since the beginning.
So ultimately, at the end of the day, we do help out with the whole process. Sometimes it's lengthy, sometimes it's not, but at the end of the day, we try to be communicative with you guys, throughout the whole process, no matter how long it takes. Yeah,
that's very true. I think you actually just also sold a customer today.
8 months.
8 months on permitting as well.
8 months today. Yeah.
So shout out to that client. We'll probably be visiting him, and we'll be talking about his permitting as well. But that was about 6 months for Caleb, which is the project that we did right now, this one, and then the next client for Josh.
Yeah.
So definitely something to keep in mind.
Awesome.
So guys, make sure that you guys watch the tour on this project. Our customer ended up finishing out the building himself by painting the spray foam. He painted that white, and it's very, very visible in our videos. And then he also added his electrical. We talked a little bit about those UFO lights. Very popular. We've seen them on a lot of our clients. And then also, guys, we did do a small giveaway in that video. So we do have a winner. His name is Gary. You should be seeing his comment right here. Congratulations, Gary. Make sure to shoot us an email so we can send you over that hoodie. And then, guys, we will be focusing a lot of more giveaways this year, kind of giving back some of the merch that you guys...
Exciting.
Yeah, I know. I'm super excited for you guys to see some of the new merch that we're coming out with, and then to kind of do giveaways on those kind of things. So make sure you stick around for those.
Yeah, and then if you guys are looking for a metal building, make sure you reach out to me directly. My email will be down below. Me and my team will be happy to help you guys through this extensive permitting process if you guys need it. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.